Not from what I can tell.
I thought he done it, yeah. I'm gonna give him benefit of that. Yeah, I think he done it.
Right. But
You gotta do something with the snow, because it's gonna
Yeah, that's
stay in the 20s.
Try not to, don't make too much of it.
What's wrong?
Good afternoon and welcome to the Pennsylvania County Board of Supervisors work session. Today is Tuesday, January 20th, 2026, 4:30 p.m. We're at 39 Bank Street, Southeast, Chatham, Virginia, 24531. Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
yes, sir. Mr. Bowman?
Here.
Mr. Brown?
Here.
Mr. Dalton?
Here.
Mr. Dudley?
Present.
Mr. Whittle?
Here.
Mr. Ingram?
Here.
Mr. Tucker?
Here. Thank you. All right. Any items to be added to the agenda? No items to be added. That being the case, I'll entertain a motion for the approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Bowman.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Ingram. Met second, approval of the agenda. Any discussion? Hearing none, please cast your votes. Motion passes unanimously. For the citizens' convenience, all work session and committee meetings in the same YouTube location can be locations as Board of Supervisors business meetings. Please remember that the board's work session is designed for internal board and county staff communication, discussion, and work. It is not a question and answer session with the audience. Accordingly, during the work session, no questions or comments from the audience will be entertained. Respectfully, any outbursts or disorderly conduct from the audience will not be tolerated and may result in the offending person's removal from the work session. As a reminder, all county citizens and other appropriate parties as designated by the board's bylaws are permitted to make comments under the hearing of the citizens section of tonight's business meeting. Thank you so much. That moves us down to item or agenda 5, and we're having presentations.
No presentations.
Okay, we move to agenda item number 6. Mr. Adcock, an overview discussion of landfill.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Today I'd like to provide a short overview of current landfill equipment issues, the operational impacts to the landfill, and the specific repairs we're requesting board approval for. As mentioned, we've had some recent equipment failures that have created some operational risk at the landfill. Our critical landfill equipment, those are our compactors and our dozers. We have 2 of each, and all of them are currently out of service or operating with limitations. We're having to get rental equipment to maintain operations, and we need to address some timely repairs to protect landfill capacity and also the revenue that we generate at the landfill. So the importance of our compactors, that's a typical 836 compactor. That's our biggest unit. These are our most critical landfill machines. They help to make sure we get good compaction in the cell, and they extend the life of the cell, which you guys understand that to create a cell is a big expense. So to get the most life out of that cell is what we always what our goal is. Poor compaction wastes airspace and increase the operational costs. So our current equipment, we have a 2015 Caterpillar 836, that's our largest piece of equipment, and we have a 2013 Caterpillar 826, which is a little bit smaller equipment. The 826 status, that is a 2013 model year. It's got approximately 16,300 operating hours on it. It has a loose center articulation joint, which if it turns in the middle, you've seen them operate, and it's kind of loose, so we don't use it except in just very critical if we have one of our other ones are down, we can run it, but we don't run it that often because of risk of complete failure. So it's a limited use, and it's near the end of its service life. And both our staff and our consultant, our engineering consultant and the landfill consultant, recommend replacement of that unit. The 836 is a 2015 that was purchased as a complete rebuild in 2021. It has approximately 10,000 hours on it since we've purchased it, and it had about that same amount of hours on it before it was rebuilt. We've had some recent major repairs to it. We had an exhaust manifold repair in October that was $23,000, and then we had an engine failure, so we had to do an engine removal and a diagnostic done at $22,000. And that diagnostic came back and said you need a new engine in it. So the county administrator recently approved the installation of a remanufactured engine, and that's currently underway. The 836, the additional concerns on that are the compactor, the wheel teeth are severely worn. About 20% life remaining on on the teeth. And what happens, those teeth help to shred and penetrate down in the waste. And so if you have bad teeth, you get poor compaction, you get lost airspace, you get increased operating costs. So the cost to recondition the wheels is $84,777. That's an estimate. And we're requesting board approval to proceed with that. And I wanted to give you just a little financial analysis of the teeth. So based on industry standard, new teeth improve the compaction of about 5 to 10%. So our current phase, and these are kind of approximates, our current phase remaining airspace is approximately 500,000 cubic yards. And at our normal compaction rate, which is about 1,300 pounds in a cubic yard, and an average disposal rate assumed at 30 a ton, that's much less than the gate rate, but we have to average in, that we're bringing in our trash for $0. And if we maintain our average compaction rate at 1,300 pounds per cubic yard, that potential revenue in that remaining airspace is about $9,750,000. So if we get a minimum of 5% improved efficiency with those new teeth, you're looking at a potential of $450,000 of additional revenue. So the payout is great with the new teeth. And considering those the teeth, I know it sounds like a lot of money, but there's 160 teeth on that machine, that 836. So they have to go in and touch every one of those, either remove it and put a new tooth on it. So it's a very involved process. So looking at our dozers, that's one of the larger dozers that we have. It's a D8 machine. We have, currently we have a 2015 Caterpillar D6. It has approximately 13,500 hours. We have a 2015 Caterpillar D8 that has approximately 19,895 hours. That one was purchased as a rebuild as well, so some of those hours were on the rebuilt machine before it was stripped down and rebuilt. Both of those dozers are currently inoperable. We're renting one to maintain operations at about $9,000 per month. And I forgot to mention, for the compactors, I wanted to just give a shout out to First Piedmont. They are assisting us with a rental of one of their extra machines at $7,500 a month. And that just goes to show the good relationship we have with First Piedmont, and we're always working back and forth with them. But they have been very, very good to us to allow us to use that machine. So the D8 has a final drive issue. The final drive, if you look at the tracks, it's the circular thing at the top of the tracks that takes the engine torque and it converts it to the tracks. So that final drive has completely failed. Our first option to repair that is about $40,000, and that is only repairing what's gone bad inside of the final drive. There's a number of sprockets inside of that, so that only covers the replacement part, and it's a longer downtime because they have to go in and machine down the spindle that all the sprockets connect to. And our option 2, a little bit higher, $47,215. That gives us a 1-year parts and labor warranty on the entire drive. That's a brand new drive. And it also gives us a little bit faster ability to return that to service, because they can just take that off the shelf and put it in there. So that is another request for board approval, and we would like to go with option 2 because we're getting a better warranty, and we don't want to put that. Some of these repairs, the materials are one thing, but the labor is so expensive. We don't want to have to go back through and take it all apart again just because one of the sprockets that we didn't replace fails. And that's what you got to look at when you're looking at these repairs. The D6, which is our smaller dozer, needs an undercarriage repair. During operations recently, the tracks would not stay on during operation. So the machine was transported to Carter Cat, who is our cat dealer that does all of our maintenance on the machines for inspection. And it turns out that the undercarriage and tracks need to be replaced. So estimated cost for that is $42,824. And we're also requesting board approval to replace those tracks. So a summary of the repair request: the Cat 836 compactor, the wheel reconditioning is about $85,000. The D8 dozer, the final drive, is about $47,000, and the D6 dozer undercarriage is another $43,000 roughly, for a total request of $174,800. And in closing, these repairs will improve our operational efficiency and extend our landfill life, which we're getting close to the end of phase 2, the last cell in phase 2. So we want to maintain that life as long as possible. It would provide our much-needed backup machines. So right now, we have one rental compactor and we have one rental dozer. So we if something else goes down, we're compacting trash with a dozer, which is not very efficient, but we have to keep operations moving along. And it also will reduce our reliance on the rental equipment. So in closing, I would like to request board approval for these repairs, so that we can move forward and keep things running along as smoothly and efficiently as possible.
Thank you, Mr. Adcock. Any questions for Mr. Adcock? Mr. Bowman?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chris, these are these expenses here are, I look at it as routine maintenance, and we're looking at this as major repairs, but I guess a couple of questions I have on this is, we're in business, we're in the landfill business. We take, refuge from other localities, and it's our responsibility to make sure that we have our equipment up and running. And, I look at this and I'm going, this is not good planning. We shouldn't have to go out and rent other equipment, in my opinion, from somebody else to continue doing the business that we are contracted to do through other localities. I'm just at a quandary here. I know we have to do this. We have to keep these pieces of equipment up, and I'm not real sure that the life expectancy here is going to get us to a point unless we start planning ahead and putting money in reserve to fix this equipment on a routine basis or purchase new equipment. So I don't want to say I'm disappointed in this, but we're going through another budget cycle here again. Ms. Vanderhyde just gave us our want list, if you will, from all the departments, and this is it's a huge. It's $200,000, but this is to keep the landfill in business as more than anything else. So I'm kind of at a quandary here on why we get to these situations when I think some planning, if it took place, we would be better off. So I know I'm just kind of, but I hear this. I hear what you're saying.
Yep.
But I can tell you right now that I'm kind of not happy, and I'll just say this with all departments. If you're coming to us with these last-minute asks and requests, then I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to look at you as, not doing your planning properly. So, Mr. Chairman, that's all I've got.
Thank you, Mr. Bowman. Any other questions for Mr.
I've got one.
Yes, sir, Mr.
Have you
Brown.
looked into what options do we have? And I don't know if it's cost effective, but, and then again, I don't know what happened 10,000 hours ago as far as the amount of money was spent then in the refurbishing, but 20,000 hours is, I've been in the heavy equipment business a long time. It's ridiculous. You can't own equipment with that kind of hours and ask for it to go through this demand. And then if you throw 200,000 more at it, it's not even gonna be a Band-Aid on a cut for what that's gonna do, but we may have to do it. My question would be, what other options do we have? I was talking to Mr. Shorter earlier, I agree with you. If we're a contractor of trash, we should be in the green. And we should have money and we should have equipment that should stay under warranty in order to work our way. As the equipment ages, we cycle it out for new, we put it on gov deals, we sell it, we recuperate some of that money back, and we have to operate year-round, no matter the weather. And I'm in that landfill more than anybody in this room, including you. And it's a lot. It's very demanding of that equipment, of what it takes. And it's, I don't understand how we get in this situation, but I'm news member here on the board. But what options going forward? Have we looked at, can we lease something to where, because Carter Caterpillar is going to keep coming out here and working on what we throw $200,000 at, because it is Band-Aids on this. I see this stuff, it's junk, and it's just not going to fix it.
Well, that's the plan is once we get these back operational, that we will save one of them for a backup machine, and then we'll get a new machine. So both of these, the D8 and the 836 were purchased in 2021 at a complete rebuild. So some of those hours were on the rebuild frame. So they were kind of considered almost new equipment when we purchased them. Maybe that was a poor decision that we went with a reconditioned or a rebuilt unit. But at the time, both of those, I think one of them was $495,000 and the other one was about $500,000. So we're still spending $1 million
Right.
for two pieces of equipment. And that is, and a new compactor is $1.5 million. So you've noticed that our budget recently has been very tight, and we're trying to do new cells and things like that. So we're trying to keep as much equipment operational as long as we can. But we do have a goal to get a new compactor when that time comes. And we're starting to see some additional revenue coming in. We've got these new contracts that we've renewed recently, and we've got the tonnage rate up higher than they were for the past 5 years. So I feel like once we get over a couple of these hurdles, we're going to start seeing a lot better results. And it's just all of these repairs have hit us at one time, and that's just it was a perfect storm, and that's what has caused this issue.
All right, Mr. Dudley.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. What's the price of a new D6 or a new D8? Have you looked at those?
The new compactors are like $1.5 million, and we have started looking at those. And the dozers are probably about $1 million. Maybe Justin can, Mr.
It's
Brown
close.
can tell us.
Yeah, around $1 million for a dozen, for a D8. But he's right. The compactors that needs to be the focus. You're not going to be able to do both within a reasonable time frame. It's just going to be unquestionably out of the budget.
Yeah.
The compactor is the biggest necessity because that's where you're going to get your compaction in your airspace.
Right.
On the numbers he was just saying. We can almost go backwards and rent or lease or something, which I think you're already doing that now with Sunbelt, but it's still, that gets expensive at $10,000 a piece a month. The question now is, even with the recent increase in tipping fees and that kind of thing, my question is, we're bringing in Bedford's trash, BTR, and we're bringing in First Piedmont's through Henry County and the city of Danville. Are we price pointed at a profit margin where we can handle these kind of breakdowns? Or if we've got to go forward in the future, and let's say the track style machines stay in a rental category, but yet we end up purchasing $1 million compactor, for instance, to get us through, or $1.5 million compactor. That's going to be where how we make money, or at least increased profitability to get into the green. Right now, it sounds like we're not in the green because we're getting more money to throw at, dilapidated equipment. But I don't know. We're gonna have to run the numbers, but I don't know how to fix our newest problem here, though. Chair's over here falling apart. Oh, put that on the list. But I don't know, you see what I'm saying? I'm just trying to hash this out, or we can figure out a game plan here.
Yeah, and that's something that we're looking at too, is, if we do, rent an equipment, and we need to figure out, whether rental is a better option than buying. So we're trying to maintain what we've got so far, knowing that we've got some expenses for new cells and things on the way. And then we also, if we're going to trade these machines in, they have to be operational if we're going to trade them in. You can't expect to get any kind of return off of equipment that the engine's laying on the ground somewhere.
That's right.
All right.
Mr. Tucker.
Mr. Dalton. Go ahead,
Go ahead,
Mr.
Mr.
Dalton.
Go ahead.
Mr. Ingram.
You described this as a perfect storm, and I agree with you. And the old saying, the buck stops here, some might imply it stops with you, but it really stops with us, because you come to us in a very conservative manner asking for what you need. You don't ask for extreme stuff. And if you were high-minded, you came in here and asked for 2 brand-new dozers, and that would be $3 million. And you didn't do that.
Right.
And I know there's been some issues with personnel, with equipment, with who you choose to do business with. And so I understand that, and maybe we'll just leave it at that. But I think you have a good plan, and keep doing what you're doing, because we do understand. And things break and things happen, but I would say a lot of this is not of your fault as a director. So I did want to say that in your defense. Thank you.
Mr. Dalton.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Tucker. Mr. Adcock, thank you for the presentation. I agree with my colleagues on some of the stuff. I wish we could replace this stuff before it got to this shape. And, do we have a mechanic that can work on this stuff and replace a lot of this stuff in-house?
We don't have a mechanic for the heavy equipment. No, our mechanic works on the trucks exclusively.
Right.
Now, he could do some things, minor electrical issues that we encounter, they'll go and ask him about it, and he helped us with that, and that really saves us a bunch, because it's about $1,500 for Carter to roll a truck down to just to come see us.
Absolutely.
Before they even turn a wrench.
Well, if we had somebody, that'd be a big savings.
Yes, sir. Even
Because y'all got a nice shop over to work in. Listen, I own a bulldozer. I replaced the tracks, the sprockets, the rails, and everything on it a couple of weeks ago out on my farm on the ground. So you can work on them in a shop.
Yes, sir.
And if we had a good mechanic, they could be doing this stuff in that shop over in this cold weather and saving us a lot of money. Because anything you can do yourself, you can save a lot.
Sure.
And you could keep it maintenance on it. So when it got to this point, maybe you could come to us and say, look, this machine is getting a lot of hours. We need to consider trading it, getting a new one. Because we're taking all this trash in. We have increased the load on this equipment a lot. Mm-hmm. And you're wearing it out a lot quicker. And I understand all of that. But hopefully and listen, y'all just dealing with Carter. These machines are past warranty, right?
Yes, sir.
We've got some guys here in the county. You take Jeff Bowl up at Climax. He's one of the best around. I don't know if y'all have ever reached out to him or not, but we have other people that could give us prices on work on this stuff. And they do a great job, too. Mm-hmm. I know he does.
And we have talked to, we've had some track repairs done by another firm, and we've gotten some other quotes. And that's one thing that we can look at with the teeth. That may be something that's somebody else could do because it's not real technical. But Carter, Carter does our preventive maintenance, so it's good to have them when they do the work and they log it into their computer system, so we can go back and say, hey, what did you do back in June of 22, and they can give us a whole list. So there are some benefits to that, but the warranties are, and the new equipment or the repaired equipment will be will be warranted as well,
Right,
which
that's right.
typically is, 1 year, several hundred hours on that replaced equipment.
Okay.
And then about the mechanic issue, it took us almost 4 years to find a decent mechanic for the trucks. So, and even First Piedmont, they hire a Carter mechanic to stay at their site all the time,
Wow.
full time, and they're paying CAT for this mechanic because you just can't find an equipment mechanic really. That's just very hard to find.
I know, yeah. Carter's good, but you're gonna pay for him.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I understand that. All right, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir. Mr. Whitman, anything? All right, thank you. Thank you, Board. Let me make a couple comments here because kind of scratching my head here. This is a continuation of the conversation that we've had with the landfill. And so the board understands this is not a general fund issue. This is an enterprise fund that should be self-sufficient and self-sustaining. And that's one of the reasons I asked, do we know where our break-even point is? And I think Mr. Brown even mentioned that as well. I understand, and I'm not pointing fingers, but we should not be in this position, okay? Mr. Bowman's correct. We need some good planning. We need some old-fashioned white-knuckle accounting so that we know where we are, where we stand. If we were profitable making money out there rather than having to prop up the landfill, we could maybe digest this a little easier. And I know contingencies come up, but I don't know. I'm of the opinion that we don't need to be buying this high dollar equipment wherein your warranty's gone via the hours or time ticking on the clock. I'd prefer someone else own that equipment. We rent it or lease it, and if it breaks, it's their problem, not our problem. If it breaks, they bring out another piece of equipment to replace that so that it cuts our downtime. So we got to do a little bit of better planning than what we're doing right here. And, I don't think it's anything wrong with your ask, but there have been enough questions to challenge you to go back, get a little additional information. We know we have to operate. We know we got to run. You've told us exactly how much money we're going to lose from compaction, that sort of thing. We lose money when the whole landfill is down. I get that. But at the same time, let me say unequivocally, we cannot run that landfill out there at the convenience of our customers in these other localities. Anytime you get yourself in a position wherein it's costing you money to operate and there's no profit in it, you have to ask yourself why you're doing it, just as a courtesy, okay? So we need to address some of this going forward, but right now, if you don't mind, Mr. Adcock, would you take a look at some of the suggestions that you've heard around from the board and get back with us possibly next week as we have our finance meeting, and we can kind of figure out a way forward here.
Well, it's kind of important that we try to address, we can go back and look, but we kind of need to address these issues that we have currently because we're using a rental machine, one rental machine, and we got rental dozers, so I don't know what the options, if we come back to you, it's going to be the same.
I'm not sure. Mr. Shorter, you're the county administrator. I'm going to defer to you, sir. would you get us some quotes on leasing or renting some new equipment, that sort of thing? Because it sounds like we're going to be spending good money after bad, because if you're telling me these machines have all those hours on it, I'm not a novice. I own diesel tractors, and I like Darrell, I own a dozer also, but I'm not going to lay down on the ground and work on it this time of the year. But we need some options here, okay? You're asking us to kind of make a decision based on, just going, fixing up, patching old equipment, and who's to say in less than 30 days, the whole thing falls apart? Now we got to spend X amount of dollars additionally to get up and running. So I would prefer to hear what it would cost us to lease or to rent some equipment to keep us rolling. And if you would, loop Mr. Brown in there since he's in the business. But I would appreciate us attacking that issue from that angle prior to just spending this amount of money. Okay?
And I'm with you, excuse me, I'm with you. I mean, you're in a pinch. I get it. I mean, I'm not arguing that. It's just the whole deal's a tough deal. So now I don't know. I would love to see some of the numbers or try to figure out a plan with you. He just put me on the solid waste, the chairman just put me on the solid waste committee, I think.
Yep.
Darrell, Mr. Talton, and I don't forget who else is with us, but I don't know, maybe we can do a field trip day and a Caterpillar day or somebody day and look at rental and get an idea more of what you're going through.
Sure.
I think that's going to help everybody.
Yes, sir, Mr. Bowman.
Mr. Chairman, just one other question. So, Chris, if we appropriated the money today, what would be the lead time that you would need in order to put the order in, get the parts, get it fixed and up and running? 30 days, 45 days?
No, the D8 final drive, they're telling me they could get that done in a couple of weeks. The engine on the 836 is being repaired currently. So we will have that one back operational, the 836. It just will have the worn out teeth.
The wheels would
Yes.
need to be repaired. I got you.
So, I mean, that'll still work. And I think, we're looking at probably several weeks to get the other repairs done.
Okay. All right. That's all I've got. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Mr. Whittle.
Thank you, Mr. Adcock. I hear you saying is you need this so you can keep your landfill running right now, don't you?
Well, we're running, but it's not, we're at a point where we need to have the best compaction we can because we're running out of space in the current phase, and we're working towards building the second phase. So that those timeframes don't clash, we need to be as efficient as we can. And that's kind of what we're saying. I mean, things are moving because we've got rental equipment there, but that's costing us as well.
So we should have been working on this 6 months ago instead of today.
Well, they didn't break down 6 months ago.
But they were on the way. You knew with all the hours on it, you knew they were on the way. They're headed that direction. Everything with hours on it breaks down after a while. So forklifts, anything else you're working with.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
But I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Anything else, board? Thank you, Mr. Adcock.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, we move to agenda item 6B, 250th Celebration Independence Day. Mr. Shorter. Good afternoon and welcome, sir.
Mr. Chairman, board members, our nation is approaching its 250th anniversary, and for such, we have been in coordination with the 3 towns in the county as well as the county itself, and preparing and planning for a celebration festival to occur on July the 4th. Pittsylvania County will celebrate America's 250th anniversary with a once-in-a-generation free countywide event for residents that honors our past, celebrates who we are today, and creates something meaningful for the future. Overview of the event: the celebration will take place on July the 4th, 2026 at the Old Dominion Agricultural Complex and will feature live entertainment, food trucks, community vendors, children's activities, historical and cultural displays, a fireworks finale to close the event, and much more. Because the event will be held at ODAC and is anticipated to draw a large number of attendees, there will be no on-site regular public parking. We plan on accommodating as much handicap parking on site as possible to ensure safe, efficient, and accessible transportation. The county will operate continuous shuttle bus service throughout the day from the designated off-site parking locations. This approach is intended to reduce traffic congestion, improve pedestrian safety, and ensure all residents can comfortably access the event. The event details are: it's going to start at 9 a.m. with the Field of Honor, which is out near the ODAC, 11 a.m. The town of Chatham will be hosting a parade on their main street. The event will continue, the program will continue at 12 at noon. At the venue at the ODAC will officially be open to the public. At 1 p.m. there will be an opening ceremony and welcoming. And during the entire day, there'll be live music, food trucks, and activities. And then at 9:45, the final fireworks show will begin. The planning for the 250th celebration is being led by the county through an organized committee structure that includes county employees, staff from the towns of Chatham, Gretna, and Hurt, and community volunteers. These committees allow work to be divided into manageable areas such as logistics, programming, safety, and fundraising, while still maintaining centralized coordination and oversight. This structure helps ensure accountability, clear communication, and efficient decision-making as planning progresses. The various committees are the Steering Committee, which is the executive planning team, Historical and Heritage Committee, Events and Entertainment Committee, Parking, Shuttle, and Site Planning Committee, Decorations and Beautification Committee, Volunteer Coordination Committee, Food and Beverage Committee, Public Relations and Marketing Committee, Fundraising and Sponsorship Committee, Youth Engagement Committee, Safety, Security, and Logistics Committee, Branding Committee, Legacy and Time Capsule Committee, and Faith and Reflection Committee. The steering committee is composed of our chairman, Mr. Tucker, myself, Kim Vanderhyde, Caleb McCluster, Holly Stanfield, Connie Gibson, Kelly Hawker, which is the town of Chatham clerk, Elisa Davis, which is the town of Chatham mayor, Crystal Grubbs, the town of Gretna clerk, Keith Motley, town of Gretna mayor, Nick Morris with Chatham First and Rotary, Jimmy Harding, town of Hurt council member, Alice Bond, town of Hurt council member, Mr. Bunky Doss, which is the former school board chair, and will be reaching out to his successor, Mr. Mayhew, which is the Pittsylvania County School Superintendent, Otis Vaughn, Pittsylvania County Chief Building Official, and Bill Webb King with the town of Chatham. This is what we're really getting to at this point. We've been meeting with these committees and planning and organizing a couple meetings a month since September. Last meeting, we had all of the department or committees submit budget requests of what they think it would cost for them to pull off a successful event from their perspective. And so now we're kind of at an organizational point where we need some centralized purchasing and procurement and someone with the authority to sign contracts of and other things. So in preparation for Pittsylvania County's 250th Independence Day Festival, staff has developed a comprehensive purchasing and procurement procedures policy along with a festival purchase request form and a committee acknowledgement form to govern all festival-related purchases and expenditures. Together, these documents establish a clear, standardized process for requesting, reviewing, approving, and tracking purchases, clarifying purchasing and contract authority, and ensure compliance with Pittsylvania County's procurement policy, Chapter 25. The documents also ensure that all committee members acknowledge and understand their responsibility and limitations regarding to purchasing and procurement. Board approval of the policy and related forms will provide centralized oversight, promote transparency, and allow festival planning activities to proceed in a controlled and compliant manner. The proposed funding structure to support the planning and implementation of the festival, our Chairman Tucker has indicated support for appropriating $125,000 for this purpose and recommends the board transfer the funds from the board's contingency line item to a newly established line item specifically designed for this event. A fundraising committee has been established and tasked with seeking donations, sponsorships, and other financial support. All donations and sponsorship funds will be tracked separately from county funds and placed in a separate line item specifically designated for festival donations. The goal and the hopes is to receive enough corporate donations and sponsorships to completely fund this festival, but there needs to be appropriated funding for purchases until we've accomplished or hopefully accomplished those goals. Once the board adopts a procurement and purchasing policy and establishes a budget, planning and coordination will continue. Procurement activities will begin as needed, and the board will receive updates as the event progresses.
Thank you, Mr. Shorter. Comments, questions from the board? Yes, sir. Mr. Dudley.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You said there's going to be like concerts, is that what you said, or?
There will be live bands performing, and as well as a DJ from the beginning to the end of the event for filler and announcements.
Okay. I was just sitting up here thinking, and it may be shot in the dark, but I mean, we've got someone in this county that was actually a superstar at one time, and he's retired and just quietly retiring at home, and that's Ricky Van Shelton. I was wondering if we could possibly reach out to him and see if he could do a concert or something, just give it a thought. So, I mean, it's up to whatever. Y'all already may have plans, but we'll see.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Dudley. Yes, sir, Mr. Whittle.
So, how much have y'all already brought in from the sponsors y'all sent out to? Have y'all brought in anything yet?
Yeah, I think the mail-in donations thus far is 1,800 range, 1,750.
Okay.
We mailed out at the beginning of December a little over 500 donation request forms.
Right.
Now, we know how businesses and corporate structures work, of how those types of requests have to work their way through specific channels. So we're doing follow-up. At our last meeting, we passed out the entire list of everyone that was mailed a form and asked all the committee members that if they had any personal contact with any personal relationship with any of those vendors or companies, to actually schedule and plan a face-to-face visit with those entities. So we think that that's where the majority of the fruit will come to bear, is the actual door knocking and face-to-face visit.
Thank you.
Yes, sir, Mr. Ingram.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Shorter, let me ask you, I didn't see where the committee chairmen were listed, so is that something that could be made available to us in case we come up with an idea that we could reach out to that person, or just, would you rather come through you?
No, absolutely. Kaylin has that spreadsheet, and she could disseminate that to all of you. She has every committee chair and their membership and contact information as it's been provided to us.
And I like what Mr. Dudley said. If you could get Ricky Van Shelton out of retirement, that would be a great gift to this county. And you know, I was just going to recommend that we have so much local talent
Yeah, we do.
that could be utilized. So I don't know what your plans are. I think about Megan Dawson, Matt Boswell, for instance. You know, it's just a lot of men of ordinary, I forget who those guys are, but there's a lot of local talent out here that could be used. And it needs to be diversified, of course, but this 125, is this the cap that you're looking at spending?
Based upon the budget submission requests from the various committees, we know that it's going to take roughly that amount to pull the event off. So, you know, the jury's still out on how much is going to be donated.
I guess what I'm asking is the donations will offset that?
In a perfect world, 100%.
Okay. Because I know a lot of times when my children were little, we planned a party and we didn't really have the money for the cake yet. So we struggled, but it's okay. It's good now.
That's good.
I appreciate your answers. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Mr. Dahl.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Shorter. That was one of my questions about the 125,000. So if we appropriate this and we get the donations in, I mean, we'll use our donations and not use our county funds, right?
That would be the preference, is to fund it all
Through
correct.
donations.
But I think there's
Right.
going to be that lag and that gap
Yeah.
of having
I mean-
to pre-fund the event until, and I'm not going to stand here before you and assure you that we're going to collect $125,000 in donations.
Oh, I know. I mean, we've got to do something. This is a very special event right here, 250th anniversary. I just think about 125,000. I mean, that's a lot of money to really take from the taxpayers to have a celebration and event. And I hope it's a good turnout. I hope it's worth that 125,000. But it would be great if we can get those donations and not have to ask the citizens to pay for something. And some of them's not going to come anyway. But again, we've got to do something. I ain't denying that. But I would like to get a lot of donations. Be nice.
We can use your help.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir, Mr. Bowman.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. Vincent, good presentation. The only question I've got is the committees that have been identified that are going out here and put together this entire event. How are you going to manage the request coming in from the committees for funding? For instance, let's say with the venue, the music venue, that committee goes out and they find somebody, whoever that is, they come back and they go, okay, it's going to cost us $5,000 to have this band or this person come. Are these things going to come in just haphazardly, independent, as they come up with these requests? And is it going to be, I'm looking on this, going to be funneled through you for approval? And how does that work?
I won't be singularly in charge of approving any of these. The steering committee meets an hour before the regular committees meet, twice a month. So the hour before the regular meeting, when the steering committee's there and the members of all the steering committee members are on that sheet, the steering committee as a whole would have to approve any type of expenditure like that, and would just authorize the single point of contact, which would be me, to sign any necessary agreement or document after the committee had approved it, not me personally.
Okay. Okay. That's all I've got, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Bowman. Anyone else?
I'm sorry, I did have one more
Yes,
question.
sir, Mr.
This, no on-site parking sort of bothers me. I remember, I've been involved in events where you had to park here and get on a bus to go there. And the rock concert was what I was thinking about. From what I saw, it caused a lot of people not to show up because they didn't want to have to be bussed over there, even though that was a pretty good crowd. Is any alternate thought about that rather than requiring people to park somewhere and get on a shuttle bus? And of course, it inhibits or limits people's ability to leave when they want to.
Well, the thought behind that the committee received a lot of advice. We've had VDOT representatives attend the meetings, state police attend every one of our meetings. We're leaning on the sheriff with his experience with trunk or treat. But this event's going to require so much outdoor space at ODAC, and especially the fireworks display and where they have to set off in the restricted zone for that is going to eat up so much ground that no one can be around. It'll be a completely restricted area. And then the outside areas on either side, outside of the building, weather permitting, will be full of vendors and bounce houses and entertainment rides for the children. That if we reserve the surfaced parking lot that we know right there at ODAC, we're hoping that will be enough to accommodate the handicapped folk parking on site.
Last question. What if it rains?
Then we're going to have to squeeze as much as we can inside of that building.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Let me say, first off, thank you, Mr. Shorter, and I think I approached Mr. Shorter and tasked him with, getting started on this early because other localities are going to be putting together similar events, and the sooner you start, obviously you have an opportunity to be able to get the vendors that you need, that sort of thing, to help put the event together. Look, 250th anniversary, the celebration of this country. Let's face it, I probably won't be around for the 300th or the 350th, if the laws of nature hold and the Lord doesn't come back. So I think it's important from where I stand to be able to have this type of event, and especially for the youth and the children, keeping them in mind. It'll be happening during the 4th of July weekend, and let's face it, a lot of kids in this county economically will not be able to travel outside of the county or experience any type of fun day trip or whatever the case is. Again, I'm not trying to be free and easy with any of the taxpayers' money, but when you say $125,000, there are 64,000 residents strong in Pennsylvania County. And if you do the math, it only cost us maybe $1.95 per person in the county to be able to fund this type of thing. By simply taking 125,000 and divided by 64,000, it's less than $2 per person to get that job done. So I'm going to be all about it. I've made contact. I went face to face and met with the general manager over at Caesars, and they've committed to giving us some money. It's going to take work. We cannot, sit down, wish, hope, and pray that, we'll receive the donations. We're going to have to go out there and get in front of these people. I've asked a fundraising committee to put together a preferred donors list or a premier donors list that are capable of giving significant funds for this cause. So I'm going to get in front of Microporous. We're going to get in front of, some of the heavy hitters in terms of the industry in this area. And I'd like for some of the, supervisors, all of us should be out here face to face with a lot of these companies, face forward. That's important. We, look, when we had our finance meeting and Ms. Vanderhyde updated us, the Chamber of Commerce, they're asking for a donation. We need to use all of our resources. The Chamber of Commerce actually is tied in with all of these companies throughout Danville, Pennsylvania County, and surrounding areas. So we need to lean on them in terms of getting good contact information and helping us get in front of these folks to get these donations. So I am imploring the assistance of this board to help make it happen. And listen, it's not about ego. It is all about giving back. And if we can pull this off, and it winds up being just a nominal expense to the actual county, and we're able to get the donations we need to make it palatable, then I'm all about it. So thank you, Mr. Shorter. That's where we are. And I think this is on the consent agenda, and I just wanted Mr. Shorter to update the board before we just put something on the consent agenda and rifle it through. So as they said when you were getting married, speak now or forever hold your peace. Any other comments? Mr. Bowman.
Mr. Chairman, I would just like, we only have 6 months before this event actually takes place, so I would like to hear the progress report, if you don't mind. It doesn't have to be 45 seconds, where we stand with this, because this is a major event, and it takes a lot of planning. It takes a lot of people involved in doing this. So I would request just an update at our work session, maybe, to tell us where we are, where we need to focus our energies to pull this thing together. So,
okay,
that's all I have.
We can do that. Anything else?
Mr. Chairman, well, Mr. Shorter, maybe I misunderstood what Mr. Dalton's question was, but I think it's the same as mine. If the donations come in through corporate accounts, does that mean it goes on top of the 125, or is the taxpayers 125? Is this replacing that?
No, my understanding from the committee is that 125 is our best estimate of what it's going to cost to pull this off. So if we theoretically fundraise 100,000, then I would see that the county would, at the end of the day, be on the hook for 25.
Okay, all right, understood.
Good. Everybody good? Thank you, Mr. Shorter.
Yes, sir.
All right. We will move to,
Mr. Chairman,
yes, sir.
Mr. Whittle has.
Mr. Whittle, I'm sorry.
Can we take this off consent agenda and put it on the regular agenda to vote on tonight?
I don't have a problem with that.
All right.
Can we make that happen, Mr. Evans?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we'll need a motion when we get to that point.
Okay, thank you. In fact, Mr. Whittle, when we get to that point, as Mr. Evans remarked, the only thing you need to do is that particular item is make a motion to separate that item, and then we'll deal with it.
Thank
you. Okay, just make yourself a note, separate. Okay. All right, let's see, Finance Committee, Ms. Vanderhyde, please.
I think you all were here earlier, but just for the sake of the public, we did have a finance committee just prior to the work session this afternoon. And one of the items that we discussed that will need action and is also on the consent agenda for this evening is the FY 2026 mid-year adjustments, which total $744,458.57. And they are broken down into various categories that we went over in depth at the Finance Committee meeting. This is not additional monies that we need to put into the budget. These are just things that we've received since July 1 that have not been previously appropriated, whether it be donations or if it's grants or that kind of thing, or it may just be monies that are just sitting in a pot that we've already expended, but we haven't actually appropriated those funds to cover that expense. So there's no additional local funds that are required. They're just funds that haven't been placed. It's kind of a bookkeeping function. So that will be on tonight's agenda. It's already there. It's on consent. It did not require public hearing, as a lot of times they do, because the value wasn't above 1% of our budget. So I'll entertain any questions if you have them, but that's just a brief recap of the Finance Committee.
Thank you, Ms. Randa. Any questions? I think most of us were in the Finance Committee meeting. Okay. Anything else? All right. Let's see. Any further discussion before we go into close? Mr. Evans, can you read us in, please?
Mr. Chairman, do we
Yes,
need to,
hang on.
do we need to make a motion on her presentation here?
No, actually, that's on consent agenda.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir, Mr. Evans, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. There are two matters designated for closed session this afternoon. The first is discussion, consideration, or interviews of prospective candidates for employment, assignment, appointment, promotion, performance, demotion of salaries, disciplining or resignation of specific public officers, appointees, or employees of any public body, legal authority, Virginia Code, Section 2.23711A1. Subject matter is the discussion of the Treasurer's Cooperative Agreement, and the purpose is review and discussion of the same. The second matter for closed session is discussion concerning a prospective business or industry or the expansion of an existing business or industry where no previous announcement has been made of the businesses or industry's interest in locating or expanding its facilities in the community. This is legal authority, Virginia Code, Section 2.23711A5. And subject matter is unannounced prospective businesses and industries. This is a general economic development projects update. Mr. Chairman, now be appropriate to entertain a motion, second discussion, and vote regarding closed session.
Thank you, Mr. Evans. All right, I'll entertain that motion. Mr. Bowman?
Make that motion.
Thank you, sir.
Second.
Thank you. I think that was Mr. Dalton. All right, any discussion? Hearing none, cast your votes. Motion passes unanimously. We will convene to closed, and we will be back.
Supervisors work session held on January 20th, 2026. The board hereby certifies by recorded vote that to the best of each board member's knowledge, the only public business matters lawfully exempted from the open meeting requirements of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act and identified in the motion authorizing the closed meeting were heard, discussed, or considered in the closed meeting. If any board member believes that there was a departure from the requirements of the act, he shall so state prior to the vote, indicating the substance of the departure. The statement shall be recorded in the board's meetings. We'll have a roll call vote. Mr. Dalton.
Yes.
Mr. Dudley.
Yes.
Mr. Brown.
Yes.
Mr. Bowman.
Yes.
Mr. Whittle.
Yes.
Mr. Ingram.
Yes.
Mr. Tucker.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Evans. We stand adjourned from our work session.
3 minutes.
Let's reassemble in 5 minutes, gentlemen.